Good morning, students. Today we are going to start our syllabus, and the first unit we have the prose section. In this prose section, we will begin from the first prose, the story Uncle Podger Hangs a Picture, and its writer is Jerome K. Jerome. Before we start the story, let me tell you the synopsis of this story, this prose. There are few children, 4 to 5 children in a house, and there is a old couple, Mr. Podger, Uncle Podger, and his old wife. All these people are living in a house. Uncle Podger one day tries to hang a picture. He bought a picture, a photograph, a picture from market, and he is now thinking to hang a picture on a wall. So for that, he demanded, hammer, nail, all these things. He sent to uh, children to kitchen, to storeroom, to have these all kind of uh, things. So Uncle Podger tries to hang a picture, but he is very absent-minded person. So he forgets where he put a hammer, where did he put his glass, where did he put his coat. All these things make commotion, and the atmosphere become very comic to us. So you see, finally he hangs a picture, at night at 11 o'clock, something. So I think this is the background. This is the little synopsis of this story. You see, now we will begin the story. uh, the story is like this. You never saw such a commotion up and down a house in all your life as when my uncle Podger undertook to do a job. A picture would have come home from a frame maker's and be standing in the dining room, waiting to be put up. And Aunt Podger would ask what was to be done with it. And Uncle Podger would say, "Oh, you leave that to me. Don't you, any of you, worry yourself about that. I will do all that." And then he would take off his coat and begin. He would send the girl out for 6 penny worth of nails, and then one of the boys after her to tell her what size to get. And from that, he would gradually work down and start the whole house. So you can see that when Uncle Podger bought a picture from market, and Mrs. Podger saw that Mr. Podger got brought a picture from market, and she would ask him, and in reply Uncle Podger would say to her that, "Oh, you leave that to me. You leave that to me. I will do my business in my manner, and don't you, any of you, worry yourself. So don't worry. I will do my job at best level." He would say to Miss Podger. Then he would, you see, then he would take off his coat and begin to work. He would send a girl to buy some nails from shop, and again another boy, one boy after her to tell her what size to get, the size of nail. And again from that he would gradually work down and start the whole house. Now now he would say, "Now you go and get me hammer, Will." So he would send Will to bring a hammer from a storeroom or somewhere, from somewhere else. He would shout, "And you bring to me rule, Tom." So he would say to Tom, "Tom, you go and bring to me a rule, and I shall want a step ladder, and I had better have a kitchen chair." So he demanded all these things from the people, from the children. So the children would run in the house, and they would collect all these things, and they bring all these things in front of Uncle Podger. So he would say, "And Jim, you run round Mr. Goggles and tell him, pass kind regards, and he hopes his legs better, and will he lend him his spirit level?" And don't you go, Maria, because I shall want somebody to hold me the light. And when the girl came back, she must go out again for a bit of picture cord and Tom. And where Tom? Where's Tom? Tom, you come here. I shall want you to hand me a picture. So Uncle Podger would prepare all those things to hang a picture on a wall. So that girl, she bought some nails from shop. So Tom and then again Will and other children, they they brought all the things ordered by Mr. Podger, and then he would lift up the picture and drop it. So Uncle Podger, we know he's an old man. So he would lift up the picture on the wall and drop it, and it would come out of the frame. So the picture would come out of the frame, and he would try to save the glass, the cut himself, and then he would spring round the room looking for his handkerchief. He could not find his handkerchief because it was in the pocket. So when he he when he lifted that picture and tried to hang the picture on a wall, but somewhere it slipped from his hands. But now that picture will will collapse on a ground, on a floor, and the glass will be broken. He tried he tried to save that glass, but unfortunately it cut his hand. So as he cuts his hand, he tries to search out his handkerchief, but there is no handkerchief in the room because that handkerchief is in his pocket. So because it was in the pocket of the coat, and he had taken off, and he did not know where he had put the coat. So somebody would say, okay uncle, your handkerchief is in your coat pocket. Now it is the question, then where is coat? So where he had put the coat, and all the house had to leave off looking for his tools and start looking for his coat, while he would dance round and hinder them. So, doesn't anybody in the whole house know where my coat is? I never came across such a set all in my life. Upon my word, I didn't. Six of you, and you can't find a coat that I put down not a 5 minutes ago. Well, all of the dash dash. So it is very funny that Mr. Uncle Podger, he put off his coat 5 minutes before, and Uncle Podger himself don't know where he had took his coat, and now he is considering responsible to the children that they are not getting his coat. So then he would get up and find that he had been sitting on it. Then he would call out. So then he would get up from the chair, and then he noticed that, okay, the coat was in the chair and I was sitting on that coat. Oh, you can give it up. I have found it myself now. Might just as well ask that cat to find anything as except you people to find it. And when half an hour had been spent in trying up his finger, and new glass had been got, and the tools and the ladder and the chair and the candle had been brought, he would have another go. The whole family, including the girl and charwoman, standing round in the semicircle ready to help. Two people would have to hold the chair, and the third would help him up on it and hold him there, and the fourth would hand him a nail, fifth would pass him the hammer, and he would take hold the nail and drop it. Oh, finally. So five people are eager to help Uncle Podger. Two people will help to hold the ladder. One person will help to Uncle Podger to climb the ladder. Fourth person will hand him nail and the hammer. Okay, so these are the duties of these people. So just now he is trying to He would take a hold of nail and drop it. So just he took the hold of nail, and as he just going to have a smash on a nail, he dropped the nail somewhere on the floor. There, he would say, in all injured tone, now the nail is gone. And we would all have to go down on our knees to grovel for it, while he would stand on the chair and grunt and want to know if he was to be kept there all the evening. The nail would be found at last but by the time he would have lost the hammer. So every people now are searching the dropped nail on the floor. So Uncle Podger is waiting for the nail, and when the people they got the nail, and Uncle Podger would declare that okay, now where is the hammer? Now Mr. Uncle Podger misplaced the hammer. He would find the hammer for him. We would find the hammer for him, and then he would have lost sight of the mark he had made on the wall. So, where the nail was to go in, and each of us had to get up on the chair. So, after getting hammer and nail, now that mark which was made on the wall, the mark is now misplaced. So everybody would get up on the chair beside him and see if he could find it, and we would each discover it in a different place, and he would call us all full, one after another, and tell us to get down. And he would take the rule and remeasure and find that he wanted half 31 and 38 inches from the corner, and would try to do it in the head and go mad. And we would all try to do it in our heads and all arrive in a different result and sneer at one another, and in the general row the original number would be forgotten, and Uncle Podger would have to measure it again. So he would use a bit of string this time, and the critical moment when the old fool was leaning over the chair at an angle of 45 and trying to reach a point 3 inches beyond what was possible for him to reach. And string would slip and down he would slide on the piano. A really fine musical effect being produced by the suddenness with which his head and body struck all the notes at the same time. So, Uncle Podger climbed that ladder. He fixed the place of hanging that picture on a wall, but accidentally he lost his balance, and he struck the piano, which was beside the ladder. So a very wonderful notes came out of the piano, and Aunt Maria would say that she would not allow the children to stand round and hear such language. At last, Uncle Podger would get up and get the spot fix again, and put the point of the nail on it with his left hand, and take the hammer in his right hand. And with the first blow, he would smash his thumb, oh, and drop the hammer with a yell on someone's toe, oh, 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 like this. So Uncle Podger now he has a nail in his one hand, and at another hand he has a hammer. Now he fixed a mark on the wallpaper. Now he will smash the nail, but unfortunately, he had to smash nail with the hammer. But he smashed his thumb, so he got a great pain and he yelled, "Oh, oh, oh!" and he dropped the hammer from his hand. So now, some children are around him. So someone got injured with the hammer. So that person again tried to express his pain. Then, um, "Oh, you man, you make such a fuss over everything," Uncle Podger would reply, picking himself up. "Why, I like doing a little job of this sort." And so Uncle Podger Now, he lost his temper and he says to his wife, "You such women make such a fuss, over everything. So, why I like doing little job like this?" And then he would have another try. And at the second blow, the nail would go clear through the plaster and half of the hammer after it. Uncle Podger be precipitated against the wall with the force nearly sufficient to flatter his nose. So the second time, Uncle Podger tries to smash the nail, and the nail went into the wall and followed by the hammer, and he just smashed his nose on the floor on that wall. So it is very funny situation. So he just used the whole power, and so the plaster, the plaster is destroyed from the wall. So then we had to find the rule and the string, and the nose new hole was made. And about midnight, the picture would be up, very crooked and insecure, the wall for yards round, looking as if it had been smoothed down with a rake, and everybody dead beat and wretched except Uncle Podger. "There you are," he would say, stepping heavily off the chair on the charwoman's corns and surveying the mess he had made, evident pride. "Why, some people would have had a man in to do a little thing like that." So, this is the end of this a very funny and very comic story by Jerome K. Jerome. So, uh, you know, Uncle Podger is a very funny character in this story because Uncle Bodger is absent-minded person. At first, we saw that he sent a girl to shop to buy some nails, but he forgot telling the girl that she has